What up guys, this is Monkey Figure Reviews, and today we are going to discuss some upcoming One Piece Banpresto / Bandai Spirits figures. The first one on our list, this is the DXF Grandline Man Wano Kuni Volume 23 Rob Lucci and Hattori figure. The height is 17 cm and the release date is January 2023 next year. So we are getting our next entry into the Grandline Man, and it is Lucci. I have no idea why, maybe because of his appearance in Reverie, and maybe they treat that as sort of like related to the Wano arc, so he makes an appearance here. I also can't really recall if they have ever made a Grandline Man figure of post-timeskip Lucci. But if not, then I think this is a great opportunity to get. I think he looks great based on this picture here. Facial likeness, character likeness seems to be on point. Very serious, emotionless look. A side glance towards the side here. And of course, we also have Hattori wearing his own coats, his own hats and tie. The white outfit generally just white in color, the top hats. Just a little purple flower on the chest. And details wise, you can probably see them for yourself. Some creases here at the top, some creases here at the bottom, along the pants and white shoes, but not any shading and shadowing as far as I can tell. Nothing really major or significant. This is a side view. You can see that his thumb is sort of tucked in into his left pocket. The other side, so we get a better look on the coats. And I think the paints for his shoes are a bit reflective. There's a bit of glossiness on them. This is the back, and the main thing here is probably just Lucci's hair. The details here looks to be quite detailed, looks to be quite good. Next, this is the Battle Record Collection Roronoa Zoro figure. His height is also 17 cm, and the release date is January 2023 next year. So this is the next entry for the Battle Record Collection series. We are getting Onigashima Zoro because this is the new different colored outfits, and we also have his new sword Emma over here. And the first thing I notice is that the face is horrible. The face is that's just not Zoro, man. That is just not Zoro. And even if you ignore the facial likeness, it feels that the proportions of the face is also off. Like the forehead is wide and the face is narrow. I don't know how that works, or maybe like the hair is just too long. The whole thing, the whole head sculpt is just a complete mess. Doesn't look good at all. The only thing they probably captured is just Zoro's expression, looking very serious, and maybe the scar on his left eye. But other than that, terrible. I don't like this face at all. I can see his earrings over here. The sculpt on the hair is probably not the best as well. I think the color is alright, but maybe in terms of maybe the flow of the hair, they could have done it better to fully seal in Zoro's motion. And other details like the body, can't really see much from this angle, but the muscles are sculpted. Zoro here is kind of pulling Wado Ichimonji out. Creases on the outfit is also quite significant. I think over here on the left side, with the bandana tied around the arm, and also the far side as well. Bottom part, maybe not as much as the top. And here we have the waist sash flowing towards the back. He's sort of in like a jumping either sideways or forward motion. And of course, definitely this figure will have to be supported by a supporting stand due to the design. Side view, but we get a better look on his back. And from this angle, the proportions are so weird. Like the upper body, like his shoulders, his back is so broad. Doesn't seem to fit, but it could be just the angle. The hair here, you can see, is a bit better. It's flowing towards the back, some of it towards the back half. And creases here are okay as well on the sash, on the outfit. Maybe a bit of shading in some areas, just skirting along some of the creases. And here we can also see the designs, the sheaths for the swords, nicely painted. The other side here with a better view on the swords. And similarly for this angle, I feel like his whole head and upper body, the way it is angled is so off. Like, it just throws off a very inaccurate look to me. And back view, again, some of the creases show that he's sort of like sidestepping maybe towards that direction while pulling out his sword. Main complaint for this figure is probably just that the head sculpt is terrible, and maybe on some angles his body is going to look a bit off. Next, we have a new series, a pair of figures, and this is called One Piece Senkou Zekkei, Portgas the Ace figure. His height is 9 cm and the release date is January 2023 next year. This is going to be paired up with Yamato, which we will see later. And I think from the height that I mentioned, he is going to be very, very small. So this figure just kind of remind me of that Roger versus Whitebeard sets. I think it's in very similar style. Details, they are definitely not going to be too crazy about it. But at least this time around, we sort of got to see the facial expressions on the characters' faces. Like for here, Ace, you can clearly see his eyes. Whereas for Roger and Whitebeard, I think they will blacken out. Throughout the whole figures, you can also see this stylistic strokes sort of imprinted onto the sculpts. And this is very similar to how they draw shadows for mangas, in those manga pages. So I guess this is what they're going for over here. And I think details, you can probably just see them for yourself. The flames sort of connected to this grey base. He's probably doing an attack, fire fist, and some of the flames moving outwards. The general position of the flames are quite well done. But in terms of the quality, obviously this is not going to be top notch. It is just a simple orange color painted throughout. For Ace himself, the outfit is okay, very simplistic. You can see a bit of his muscles on his body sculpt. More angles of the figure. And the back here, no Whitebeard Jolly Roger yet, because at this point, he has not joined up with the Whitebeard Pirates. And this is supposed to be him facing off with Yamato. And here we have some other nicer promotional images. I'm not sure if they are supposed to be connected with the base. It seems like it is not supposed to be that way, maybe due to the pose, the positioning of them. So they will be spaced a bit apart, unlike Roger and Whitebeard, whose base can connect with one another. Yeah, it looks like a pretty cool scene recreation, and only works if you get the both of them. I'll quickly run through the pictures. Not really a lot of details we can see. So now this is Yamato. Her height is 11 cm and the release date is also in January 2023 next year. Again, the details, the style is very similar to Ace, very simplistic, very basic. The face here, character likeness, probably not the best, doesn't really look like Yamato. Some of the hair colors are not properly done too, it's just basically white. And it goes to sky blue, horn colors are there, and the weapon looks very, very bad. I don't think it's supposed to be this thin. I know it's supposed to be longer than Kaido's one, but this is just too thin. It's almost like a stick. And with this effects, these lines carved onto the weapon, it definitely throws off the look more. Outfit wise, fairly decent. The creases, no shading and shadowing once again. Face front angle, doesn't look like Yamato. Doesn't look like her at all. Other angles, the tied up rope at the back. The base is also very, very simple. Similar to the one on Ace. Just some lines maybe to show the impact of their attacks clashing. And some smoke coming up. This is Ace's point of view facing Yamato. And I forgot to mention, the handcuffs are also here on Yamato. Other promotional images focusing on Yamato here, giving you a better look on her face, some of the details on the figure. I think that the quality here, it's not really close to price figures. The quality is definitely closer to those gashapon figures, like those figures that you roll out from the machine, you put some money in. So don't expect the best. Next, this is the Grandista Nero Luffy version 2 figure, or I personally call him Onigashima Luffy. The height is 26 cm and the release date is also in January 2023 next year. Basically, this is almost the same as the Grandista Nero Luffy, just that we have an updated outfit, different colors with the bottom. I'm not so sure about the top, and he has the coat on. And based on what I've seen on the promotional images so far, we are also not going to get the other additional accessories that came with Grandista Nero, but I'm pretty sure the head sculpts like the face and the arm itself can be interchanged with the original Grandista Luffy and also the Nero Luffy. I'm pretty sure that is possible, and the only selling point here is just giving you the coat and having updated color scheme. That is all. Quality wise, I would say it has done what is required of it. Some shading and shadowing along the shirts, along the pants, the creases are all well done, but this is probably the same as before. Over here, just the coats added on, and the flow of it looking quite natural. Here we have him holding his straw hats. The face here is just Luffy opening his mouth and smiling. Not one of the best compared to the other faces we have gotten so far. Some side angles of him I'll quickly run through. More promotional images here. Another picture of the prototype. And I'm not sure why, but to me, here his face looks much more derpy than before. Like, it's actually a downgrade. I feel like my one on the shelf is much better. It could be just me, that it seems like there is a downgrade. And the rest of it I'll just quickly run through. Back of the coats, we finally get a view. The sleeves of it, the creases, those are decent, I guess. Hair at the back, decent as well. Details on the short hats, probably very simplistic, same as before. And here we have more shots of Luffy's face. Yeah, okay, maybe in this close-up it looks better. Maybe just not that one, like the angle or the lighting just kind of throws it off a bit. And here he looks derpy again. Maybe this angle is not that flattering. Just looking into his open mouth. Close up on the short hats. Basic details, not too crazy. The damage done by Buggy and the sewing done by Nami is on it. Another close up on his face. They really want us to see his face. Next, we have a few more updates for the Grandline series, but we don't have the official images yet. I believe these images are from some convention in Japan, so I'll quickly run through them. The first one here, this is the DXF Grandline Lady Wano Kuni Volume 9. Of course, it is Sulong carrots. We don't have the height yet. The release date is February 2023 next year. So we are getting a Sulong carrot entry for the Grandline series. And I actually think that she looks quite fantastic. Instead of that very kind of like cutish, cheerful look, in Sulong form, Carrot is much more serious. In fact, her mouth is a bit of like a frowning position, and you have those red eyes. I believe here she is sort of like glancing towards her left. Hair sculpt looks amazing, flowing towards the left. The individual strands, the finishing looks great on this prototype. And this is the Onigashima outfit, I believe. You can see her chest here, and it wraps her body very tightly. You can see a bit of her abs, some of her muscles, a bit of that belly button indent. On her arms and legs, we can also see a bit of those fur layers sculpted onto them. The hands are in a bit of a clawed up position, like ready to attack. And at the bottom, we have those high boots with a bit of shading towards some of the edges. The only complaint I have is probably that in Sulong form, I believe the hair is supposed to be like a lot more in greater volume, but maybe it is not very practical for them to do it here, so they probably just reduce the size of the hair and also the tail. If you ask me, honestly, with the very little choices we can get of Sulong Carrot, I think it is still a very welcome addition. The next one, this is the DXF Grandline Lady Wano Kuni Volume 10 Wanda figure. Her height is unknown, and the release date is February 2023 next year. So this is Wanda, also in Sulong form, and again the design looks fantastic. The hair over here flowing towards the right, the tail towards the back. Some of the details here, we can see them a lot clearer compared to Carrots. Some of the swirls they've given onto the tail, and the red eyes, the face, the chest, the boobs over here. And again, some of the fur sculpted onto the arms, the legs. And the color on her is definitely more like a beige color compared to Carrot, which is white. And with how the eyes are positioned, with her glancing to her right, I believe these two figures, Sulong Carrot and Sulong Wanda, is supposed to be displayed next to each other. So they'll look great as a pair of badass Sulong Mings. Next, this is the DXF Grandline Children Wano Kuni Volume 3 Yamato figure. The height is unknown, and the release date is March 2023 next year. So we are getting Kid Yamato, and this is, I guess, her and her flashback when she's getting thrown into the prison. And she looks adorable. She looks really cute and shedding a bit of a tear on her left eye. So she's just kind of like wiping it away. Rest of the details are fairly decent, fairly good. I think the hair looks good. The horn looks very shiny with a glossy application on it. Transition of color from orange to red. The hair color, at least from this angle, we can also see a bit of the transition. The full range of the colors, white to teal to blue. Very cute figure of Yamato, and hopefully she will look good next to a POP. We can display them side by side. Next, we have the DXF Grandline Man Wano Kuni Volume 24 Monkey D. Luffy figure. The height is unknown and the release date is March 2023 next year. Once again, we are getting another Onigashima Luffy figure. I believe this is the third one. I'm not sure why they keep churning out figures of him, sometimes with the hats on, sometimes with the coats on. So I have no idea, just different poses. And details wise, I'm not going to spend any time talking about it. You can just see on your own. Here he has a serious expression and looking towards the side. And honestly, I think if you get that one with the coats on, I think there's no point getting this at all. Lastly, this is the Grandline Man Wano Kuni Volume 25. We don't have his name, and over here they just call him CP0-A. Because even in the story right now, we don't have his name. We have no idea what is this character called. We have no idea about the height, and the release date is also in March 2023 next year. This is definitely a very interesting addition. I don't think that anyone expected this at all. For them to do one of the CPO characters in Wano, but at least it's something different. At least it's something interesting. And obviously these people are shrouded in mystery. We know that they're supposed to be some of the most powerful people from the government agents. With them wearing the mask, they always look a bit intimidating, look a bit scary. And from here, the details looks to be great. The suits, the coats and the scarf looks fantastic. You can just see that for yourself. The polka dots, some medal over here. And the inner suits, I'm not sure is it because of the lighting, but it seems to be more of a greyish color compared to the white outer coat and the mask and the hat. And the rest, you can probably just see that for yourself. Shiny shoes. Maybe they are going to do some of the important CPO characters. So we have Rob Lucci, and now we have this guy. Maybe they'll have more in the future, and you can line them all up together. That will probably be quite cool, considering that we hardly get any CP0 lineups or CP9 lineups nowadays. Alright guys, so that's all I have for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below, which figures you are going to get. For myself, I am probably just getting the Grandline Children Yamato, because I don't usually collect the Grandline series, and the Grandista Nero Onigashima just doesn't seem like it's worth it to me. I'm pretty sure they're gonna come up with more Neros down the line in the future of Luffy, because he's the main character, so maybe we'll get better versions in the future. Alright, so if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you're new here, you like what I'm doing, don't forget to subscribe and also hit the bell notifications button so you don't miss out on new videos like this. Thank you guys so much for spending your time with me. I will see you very soon. Goodbye.